Hello and welcome to the Go No Go Show. I am your host Adam, along with my esteemed co-host and friend Nizam. How are you doing, buddy?
Good, man.
Yeah?
Good. We got a good show.
You do have a good show coming up today.
Show coming up.
Yeah, I actually want to give a nice shout out to The Walking Dead today because The Walking Dead kicked off with a boom. It was one of the most amazing episodes I've seen. It started its 5th season and did something that I am not aware of. I'm not aware if it ever happened before, but it got more ratings, more viewers than Sunday Night Football.
So pun intended, it kicked off with a boom.
Okay. That's true. The pun is intended.
Yo, I heard, correct me if I'm wrong, Robert Downey is on for Captain America 3.
He is.
He's Captain
I don't know what's
Iron
going
Man
on.
Or something,
yeah.
or...
That's what it seems like. And they're introducing him because they already built up that relationship. Like they butt heads a lot or whatever. So I think with the whole popularity of this, versus like the Batman versus Superman, this and that. So it might be like a Captain America versus Iron Man, which could spur the start of them touching on the Marvel Civil Wars.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's what they're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah. So Downey Jr. is going to be in Captain America 3. He signed on for Avengers 3. So he's going to be Iron Man for a little while. They're trying to do an Iron Man 4, but I don't know if he's going to.
He says he doesn't want to do it.
I know. He has a nice little trilogy round up. You know what I mean? Like I think I wouldn't mind if he does it, but I wouldn't mind if he doesn't. So it's we still have him for Avengers and we have him for Captain America, so that should be really cool.
And we're actually gonna do Robert Downey's in our first movie, right?
Yes, he is. Judge? Yes, the Judge.
Right. Before we get into that, though, we have all of our stuff. You can watch us on Verizon 45, Cablevision 76. On Thursdays at 7, and then on Fridays at 10 p.m. We also have our Twitter and our...
Yes, the Twitter is at GoNoGo Show, and the Instagram page is at GoNoGo Movie Reviews, all one word.
And you can hashtag GoNoGo or GoNoGo Show.
And YouTube, the GoNoGo Show. GoNoGo is one word, so it's GoNoGo Show. Put it in the search bar. You'll find it on YouTube, and you can watch all our episodes.
You can see all of them. There's still a lot of movies out there that you can check out that we reviewed weeks ago, months ago. So get on there and check that out. Anything else? What else we got?
I think we have movies to review.
Movies. Let's get into the movies. So the Robert Downey and the Judge.
Downey, absolutely.
Let's check it out.
He took off the suit to make this one. Let's check it out.
All right.
You're standing in one of the last great cathedrals in this country, built on the premise that you and you alone are responsible for the consequences of your actions.
You have anything else to say for yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not an affirmation.
Yeah is not an affirmation a man uses in court. Henry?
Judge? At the way he shakes my hand, always hugging everyone else. I have memories of us, you, me, that are done. How come?
You're just a boy from Indiana who's going to do whatever he has to do to pretend that's not true.
We built these walls of stone.
Stop staring. I know I look good.
Forensics found traces of blood on your dad's car. It matches the victim.
We spin these tales.
A man who kills somebody on your watch, a man you released, you don't remember hitting him.
We need to establish a firm defense.
Are you asking if you can represent me?
You can afford me.
Truth can be exposed. There's a strength in letting go.
Dad cannot go to prison. You cannot lose this case. You put me in juvenile detention.
I did what I thought was right.
You'll never come back here again.
Good.
You are simultaneously the most selfish and the most generous person I know. I loved you then. I love you now.
But now a man's blood, a man that you hate, was found on a car that only you drive. You didn't seize that chance and kill it.
That's not my testimony.
I'll paint your father as a holier-than-thou prick determined to see what he considers justice served.
My father is a holier-than-thou prick determined to see what he considers justice served, so it's going to be a light day.
That's fun.
Not bad, right?
I feel emotional. I feel all the energy that I'm supposed to feel during this. The drama and the little spurts of comedy and the family and stuff like that. I feel it because I feel the filmmakers make sure that I felt it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I felt like they were banging you over the head with every cliche that they could possibly put together. I felt like the filmmaker was sitting next to me and watching it with me going, do you feel this way yet? Well, you're supposed to. At this part, you're supposed to feel like this. I mean, in case you didn't know, you're supposed to feel like this right now. Okay? So that's what I felt like when I was watching this movie.
I feel like Robert Downey Jr. jumped in and he's just doing some of the same things that he did in the 80s. You know, he's rebellious in this. You know what I'm saying? Like we saw it in the trailer. You know, he's got those quick comebacks.
Yep.
And he's just Robert doing Robert, and I feel like it's kind of a throwback. I feel like he's a little bit older, but I feel like in this movie he does like the same type of silly stuff that he was doing, or rebellious stuff that he was doing in like a weird science, or maybe not as silly. Maybe silly is not a good word, but.
Yeah, he's more the black sheep of his family, so he fits that mold right. He fits it well. He obviously lived it because his life was so public when he was younger. So he's got that part nailed down. And sometimes there he is. I'm blocking his face. Sometimes he speaks a little too fast for me. Sometimes there's sometimes where I know he says something really cool or really like poignant or whatever, but he says it like he's so effortlessly good.
Yeah.
He never seems like he's acting, which is great. But he also speaks really fast and he uses big words. And for dumb guys like me, I need him to slow down a bit. But the performances, cannot complain about the performance.
I feel like this performance is like what got him, it made him who he is. You know, like I said, like the old days when I first saw this guy. You know, like he was the guy that you liked. He was the guy that you hated. He was the guy that you wanted to be like in certain situations. You know, and
very talented.
And you know, it's like, is he a bad guy? Is he a good guy? Like, is it going to be a happy ending?
He walks that line very well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And
so performances is not anything I'll complain about. It's a decent courtroom drama with a couple of twists that I didn't expect, which was nice. It kept me engaged. I was engaged in the whole process. So it was like watching an episode of Court TV or something like that, which was nice. But it was blanketed in just such a cliche, emotional like family drama. You know, so it was enjoyable. But it was like. You know, it's not reinventing the wheel here. It's not going to bring the courtroom dramas back to life, and then everyone's going to try and. It seems like Robert Downey Jr. made this movie to be like, hey, listen, I know I'm Iron Man, but I can still act. You remember me?
Yeah,
remember how I could act?
Yeah.
But I have to give the biggest shout out to Robert Duvall. This is one of his best performances of late because he's obviously a living legend, but he knocked this one out of the park. I thought he was fantastic.
I like Vincent D'Onofrio. I feel like he's kind of like in that kind of big brother, little brother role. You know, he was in a movie with
Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn,
yeah, the breakup.
Kind of,
he's the older brother.
You know, like he's like the older brother, little brother. You know, but I like to see him on screen. I think maybe he might be typecast in that role, but he plays it well.
He's work though.
Yeah, he's getting work. He plays it well.
But like I said about Robert Duvall, one thing I loved about his character is that he was flawed, but he was still like he did what he had to do. You know what I mean? And I can't see any other actor playing this part. Like I was trying to think of the older actors they may have looked at or whatever, but Duvall just exudes that sort of like that flawed honor. Like he reminded me of the line in Beowulf, one of my favorite lines at the end of the movie when he's going to his last fight that could have been the fight to his death. He said to his wife, he was like, "Don't remember me as a king, remember me as a man, fallible and flawed." And I thought of that when I'm watching his portrayal of this character. It's like he did what he's obviously not a great father because you see Robert Downey Jr. how angry he is during the whole trailer, but it's like he did what he thought was best, regardless of whether it was the right thing or not. Like he still wanted to do the honorable thing, and nobody's perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I thought that shined right through the lines.
I don't know if he was a bad dad. You know, he like he said, he was like, I did what I had to do. I did what I thought was best. You know what I'm saying? His son became, superstar lawyer. You know, and then
absolutely,
and his other son,
Yeah, and it took him running away to realize that home is where he belongs. You know, so it's one of those.
Yeah. So what do you give it?
I actually give it a go. I do. I was a little on the fence about it, but it's like I said, it's not doing anything you haven't seen before, but it's still a nice drama to get into.
It's a good story, good performances. I say go to. It's definitely a go.
Yeah, it's good to take a break from all the flashy stuff out there and just sit down and really immerse yourself in an engaging adult drama. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's not like a date movie. It's not like, let's go here and then we'll go to the bar after. You know, it's one of those movies that's you go on a Monday and you're like, all right, let me just relax, enjoy this, and then go home, go to sleep. You know what I mean?
And then maybe think about family, think about your dad, think about your siblings. You know, you never know what could happen. You know, the movie's premise premise is the mom passed away, you know, and he has to come home, and so life is short. If there's messages, I guess there's always a message.
Always.
But yeah, I definitely give it a go.
Yeah.
But what do we got up next?
Up next is Dracula Untold.
Dracula.
Yes.
Let's check it out.
My father was a great man. A hero, so they say. Sometimes the world doesn't need another hero. Sometimes what it needs is a monster.
My prince.
Oh, I've missed you.
Something troubles you.
The Sultan is preparing for battle and requires 1,000 boys for his army, including your son.
Run to your mother.
Look away!
You can't protect us.
I'll find a way.
I have been waiting an eternity for a man of your strength to arrive.
Welcome to your life.
What is it you are seeking?
I want the power to destroy my enemies and save my family.
There's no turning back.
Drink, Dracula.
Welcome to your life.
What's happening to you?
I'm the thing men fear, not a ghost. Something else.
I see the devil inside him!
Do you think you are alive because you can fight? You are alive because of what I did to save you!
The world.
Never forget who I am.
Love that growl.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now I'm gonna say that to somebody. I'm gonna be like at the bar, like, never forget
Who I am. A little demonic tones.
Yeah, man. This movie, man, this was a great story, man. I'm like on the fence. Like, I'm a True Blood guy, but not like a Twilight guy. You know, there's some TV show, Vampire Diaries, or you know.
Yeah,
so
it's more for
so I'm like,
tweens and teen boppers.
So it's like a lot of times when this stuff comes out, I'm like, you know, True Blood kind of caught me, you know. So I'm like, this is, I'll go with it, I'll try it. But this was a really great story, man.
Yeah, this it's bringing it back to what the vampires are supposed to be. You're supposed to fear them. It's supposed to, like, the whole Twilight thing just ruined vampires for our generation. But I'm glad that they went back and they're trying to give it gravitas again. Like, you know, Dracula's not just someone you're gonna laugh at and be like, oh, he's dreamy. You know, like, you'd be like, oh, we got to fear this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they picked Luke Evans, which I think is right there. He's a great actor, and I'm glad he's starting to get his own vehicles to thrive in. But to tell you the truth, I don't know, man. I expected a little more from the story.
Really?
I expected more of learning about Vlad the Impaler. That's what I wanted to see more of. Like, WB obviously wants to have a franchise out of this. They left it open-ended, so you know, they want to make more. I was hoping for more of a Batman Begins, where it's like in Batman Begins, they set up the character so well. He doesn't even put on the batsuit till like 3/4 like through the movie, you know, like right towards the end or whatever, and that's when he really becomes who he is. In this one, it seems like they brushed the story aside way too quick in the beginning, that he became Dracula, and then it's the spectacle you see on in the trailer, you know, like the special effects and stuff like that, which are beautiful to look at. But I was like hoping for more of the Vlad the Impaler story before he actually turns. You know what I mean? So I mean, it was entertaining. It's just, you know, I just wanted more of his the guy's story before he actually becomes Dracula.
I think the story moved well for me, because I'm the type, I'll fall asleep in a movie. Like, I was on the edge of my seat. You know, I mean, you know what's gonna happen, so they just got right into it. That was cool with me. And I just really liked the story. I liked the whole interaction with him and the vampire. You know,
yeah, those are good scenes.
Yeah, that was kind of what intrigued me about the whole thing.
Yeah,
watching that and how that interaction went down. You know, and then just the rest of the story, like it was Shakespearean almost.
Shakespearean. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I thought it was going to be a little because like they obviously showcase it as like being on a grand scale and like Lord of the Rings style Dracula with all the soldiers and the bats and all this stuff, which was really cool. But it was a much smaller movie than I thought it was going to be one of those big grand, because the scenes that you see in the trailer are the scenes that where like, you know, this is where we put all our money in. Here's all the special effects.
Yeah.
But the ones in between that, it seemed a little rushed to me. It seemed a little I don't know. It just wasn't what I hoped it would be. It was a little drab for me. And this is usually right up my alley. I love monster movies. I love special effects. Price of admission for me is special effects. I don't care. I don't care how shallow that sounds. I love special effects, and I'll go to watch it. But all those ones that you see are the ones you see in the trailer. So I was like, there wasn't anything that really wowed me during the movie. So it was actually like difficult for me to do, but I gave it a no-go.
I feel like I give it a go. I feel like I'm kind of on the fence about these type of movies. So to go and to actually have a halfway decent story and to I like the special effects. I like how, you know, I was wondering if he was going to fly, how he was going to fly, what he was going to do. I kind of like the Transformer thing.
Yeah, it was cool. Like, he just bursts into bats and then it comes right back. Like, that is really cool.
That was cool. You know, so if you're kind of on the fence with some of these kind of monster movies or vampire type things, you might like this. I think the story was really good, and I liked it. I say go.
Yeah. All right. Well, agree to disagree. I think Dominic Cooper is another. He was the main antagonist in this movie. Shout out to him because he's a great actor, but they didn't give him much to do. I was hoping for him to showcase his talent a little bit more. Like, they pretty much just kept him aside till like the last battle, which was a cool fight. But it's like, you know, like, you have a great actor there, like, use him. You know what I mean? Let's get into it.
To an extent, I agree with you. Because they kind of have this story, like, oh, you were brothers, we used to be brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, all this, like, you know, they probably could have
expanded a little bit
on the background story of that and kind of what happened. Because it was like,
who knows?
Your father.
Maybe they will. Who knows? Maybe they will, because it's obviously open-ended for sequels. And if it makes enough money, we will get sequels. But we'll see. Only time will tell.
Yeah. All right. So what do we got? What do we got up last?
Kill the Messenger.
Kill the Messenger.
Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Check it out.
Gary Webb, San Jose Mercury News.
You believe in conspiracy theories, Gary?
No, I don't believe in conspiracy theories. Conspiracies, yes. If I believe it, there's nothing theory about it.
Was the government aware that you were smuggling tons of cocaine into the United States?
Yes, the government knew.
This leads to very sensitive national security matters.
National security and crack cocaine in the same sentence. Does that not sound strange to you?
I'm going to tell you the whole truth. I'm going to introduce you to people you should talk to. And then you will be faced with the most important decision of your life.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Deciding whether to share it or not.
One of the DEA's most wanted brought in thousands of kilos of cocaine to the U.S. every day. For them.
For who?
The U.S. government. Or with them. Or at least while they were looking the other way.
Jesus.
LA, New York, Atlanta. I couldn't sell it fast enough to keep up with supply.
Fancy information you have there. Dangerous. What you found here, Gary, is a monster. You have no idea what you're getting into.
Are you really telling me that I should just walk away from this?
You'd be an idiot not to.
This story scares people.
I'm your big brother. Well, it should.
Be careful.
There are ongoing operations you're in danger of exposing. We know you were in Nicaragua. Am I being followed?
They found a solution, but where you be for the revolution?
I thought my job was to tell the public the truth, the facts, pretty or not. And let the publishing of those facts make a difference in how people look at things, at themselves, and what they stand for.
We'd never threaten your children, Mr. Webb.
What'd you say?
It's over.
I'm not finished with it! I'm not finished! This is a true story. Some stories are just too true to tell.
Where you be for the revolution?
I know where I'll be for the revolution. I'll be following Mr. Renner.
Yeah. This thing was crazy.
Yes.
It's just, you know, talk about conspiracy. They destroyed this guy.
I'm actually could we talk about this? I'm a little worried.
Right?
I'm a little worried Big Brother's watching right now.
Yo, journalists are so strong and just so, I mean, more power to him. Like I don't know if I could do it because I would be like this guy.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know, I would just keep going. I mean, he had a family. He had, you know, kids to feed.
Yep.
His reputation,
of
you
course.
know, I mean...
that's also, you know, touching on what Gone Girl did, there was a touch of that, too, where he's, like, being honored as this, like, a great investigatory journalist, and all of a sudden, you know, the government had a beef with that, so one little spin in an interview or whatever, he became the social pariah.
Yeah.
So it's like the manipulation of the masses, again, was touched in this film.
In the 80s, in the 90s, you know, like, that
Absolutely.
was...
Based on a true story is one of the best things about this. I said this was the scariest movie I've seen in a long time, because, surprise, you can't trust your government. Are you surprised?
I was surprised, but I was more scared than surprised.
Right,
you know?
but
I mean,
surprised. The movie surprised me because the movie was great, but I'm not surprised you can't trust the government, because you just can't. That's one thing. People be living a much better lives, much safer lives when you realize you cannot rely on your government for anything. If you look out for number one, because this movie, I'm surprised the movie actually got released.
Yeah.
You know, because it shines a light on some shady stuff going on. One of the lines in the trailer that he said, he was like, I couldn't move it fast enough to keep up with supply. A lot of people, if you think about that line, he said, I'll keep up with supply. And even in the movie, they're like, don't you mean demand? He goes, no, supply. Because who was supplying him? The government was. It's crazy. It's just a crazy thing to think of, how shady the government could be, and how they try to silence anyone who kind of speaks up against it.
And it's so easy. It's so easy. Just like you said, like the twist of an interview, the twist of you know,
using the media to your advantage.
Yeah, using the media to discredit this person, and it's just it's one of those things that happens it's been happening 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. There's always some type of scandal or something going on, and it's just a little tweak here, a little tweak there. And whoever's telling the story.
I never wanted to be painted as a conspiracy theorist or whatever, but sometimes there's so much evidence you just can't deny that this stuff is crazy. This could actually be a topic on your Talking Head show.
We're going to talk about it.
Are you?
Talking Heads, 8 p.m.
Coming up next. But this really was a movie that I think needs to be seen.
Definitely.
Because just to honor the reporter himself, like, he needs to, his story needs to get out there, because he put so much into trying to get it out there, even though they're trying to silence him.
And it shows how much stress was just in his life, how much stress he put on his family.
Yeah, and kudos, Mr. Renner. His performance was phenomenal.
Yeah,
he played it. He nailed this part. This was his best performance since Hurt Locker, I think.
You definitely got to see this movie. I give it a go.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just one of those things to kind of keep in the back of your mind when they're talking about you know, Big Brother and all the things that are going on right now. You know, it's one of those things, you know, maybe you need to take it from the back and pull it to the front.
It's true. You could pertain it to anything, like the whole ISIS thing and the Ebola and stuff like that, and what stories they use to take your minds off of certain things. You know, a dude from ISIS sneaks across the border in Texas, and the next day all the headlines are about Ebola. Let's get our minds off of the ISIS thing to not to cause a panic, or let's not cause a panic with Ebola, so let's bring them back up. So it's like it's just the higher ups using the media to their advantage just scares me, because whoever has power of media has the power.
Yeah,
and it's crazy because people are so easily manipulated.
And that's what it is. I don't think they have the power. I think people are easily manipulated.
Yeah, and they know that, so they have the power to influence that, which is scary.
So my thing is, like, do your own research. You know what I'm saying? If you care.
Oh, absolutely.
If you care, do your own research. You know. Whatever it is, whether it's something local, you know, like
that's what scares me though. There's so many lazy people out there, and I understand. I'm not trying to just knock on everybody or whatever, but there are a lot of people who, like, apathy is lethal. There are a lot of people that just don't care. There's some people I would get into a debate with, and they would be spewing these facts at me. I'm like, well, where'd you hear that? Where'd you read it? Oh, well, my boy listens to BBC, so he told me. Oh, okay, so you're gonna spew it to me as facts when you just heard it from your friend who heard it on a radio station.
Right,
so it's like, you know what I mean? Like, like you said, do your own work, do your own research. You know, and it's just crazy. Be your own person.
So
use your mind.
GoNoGo?
Oh, go. Strong go.
Yeah.
This movie needs to be seen. Strong go. Take your friends and tell your friends to take your friends.
It's definitely a conversation piece movie.
Yeah.
And it's something that you're going to think about. Well, next time you're watching TV, next time there's a scandal, or even, like you said, Ebola, ISIS, whatever, something like that's going on. Think about some transparency. Think about what's being put out. You know, and do some of your own research and figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out for yourself, so that you have some type of understanding.
Exactly. And educate yourselves.
Yeah.
You don't have to be in school to learn stuff. You can always educate yourself. There's a lot of learned people out there who did it on their own. So You could do it. I believe in you guys.
Yeah, so if you get a chance, I say go check it out.
Yes, absolutely.
It's definitely a conversation piece. You're going to talk about
It's
it.
still very entertaining. It's very suspenseful. I found myself at the edge of my seat half the time.
So. It was. Again, there
was a movie in itself.
Yeah,
take away the politics.
The story was good. You
yes.
know, like they had a nice relationship within the family and stuff like that. And the story based on a true story. However, you know, closely or loosely it was still a good story, and it was a good movie. And
that's another thing. If you want to know how far they stretched from the truth, do the research, and I'm sure you can. You just Google this guy or look up the articles and stuff that he's done and find out for yourself. So it pertains to that as well. So it's cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get out of here, man. Again, you can check us out, Verizon 45 and Cablevision 76 on Thursday, 7 p.m. and Friday at 10 p.m. We have our YouTube channel.
Yep, GoNoGo, one word, show. So GoNoGo show in the search bar. It'll pop up every episode that we've done. We have our Instagram page, GoNoGo Movie Reviews, all one word. And we have our Twitter account, @GoNoGo Show. And remember to keep hashtagging. #GoNoGo, #GoNoGo Show. Get them all together. Show your friends.
I think I'm going to take off next week. That's cool?
Yeah.
I got to go.
I mean, yeah, no, it's cool, but
I'm going out of town.
Yeah, no, it's cool. No.
You'll find somebody.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Somebody will come in and help you out.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
So I'm gonna take off, and then he's gonna do the show with somebody. So
whatever.
I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah. No. Okay.
All right. Whatever.
Yeah. See you next week.